Almost everyone agrees that the U.S. must find ways to become less dependent on foreign oil, but getting everyone to agree on the solution, well, that's the hard part. And this brings us to part 2 of our renewable energy series. Ainsley Earhart investigates the controversy surrounding solar power.
I'm standing in the middle of the Mojave Desert in Southern California, and boy does it get hot here. Temperatures often reach the triple digits, and that's why this place is the epicenter for these major solar power plants in our country. Renewable energy sounds good, but there's a lot of controversy.
We're being scammed by our lawmakers.
Jim Harvey is the founder of the Alliance for Responsible Energy Policy, a renewable energy advocacy group based in Southern California. Now they support solar energy, but fiercely oppose the development of these large-scale solar projects that are at the forefront of the nation's current solar agenda.
Our lawmakers, unfortunately, have sold out to the big energy lobby. This is big energy. Make no mistake about it. These are the same people that brought us oil dependence. This type of technology, this remote concentrated solar technology, will actually increase our electricity bills. This is not cheap power.
I want to invest in clean energy. Solar, wind.
We should go to wind, solar, tide.
Republicans and Democrats alike support solar as a form of alternative energy. President-elect Barack Obama has even made it a cornerstone of his campaign, calling for 10% of electricity to come from renewable sources by 2012 and 25% by 2025.
Do you think it's just the lawmakers are not educated enough? They don't know. They look at this like I look at this and they say, oh, it looks like renewable energy, this is a good thing, until we start learning the details?
Well, I can say this. Our lawmakers speak out of both sides of their mouths. In front of the press, they're saying that we need to be green, we need to do the right thing and incorporate renewable electrons into our grid. There's a right way to do that, and they know that. We can do it locally.
California is the nation's leader in renewable energy, but a ballot measure included in the November 4th election forcing the state to provide half its electricity from alternative sources by 2012 was rejected, as were 3 other green initiatives nationwide, a repudiation of President-elect Obama's proposed energy policy. The candidate's campaign promise of renewable energy soared with high oil prices, but with the credit crunch, voters are coming to grips with the realities surrounding the industry.
The Alliance for Responsible Energy Policy, Ainsley, opposes the solar projects that are going to sacrifice and destroy our environment. You see behind me, this is a perfect example. These projects scrape thousands and thousands of acres per project. We're talking millions of acres overall, just in Southern California alone. And they also consume an awful lot of water. Some of these projects will consume 35 to 100 million gallons of water a year apiece. That adds up to billions.
But it doesn't stop there. According to Harvey, thermal solar, which uses thousands of these mirrors to retain sunlight, also uses harmful chemicals like glycol, as well as oil and natural gas to convert sunlight into electricity. They also require massive cable lines to transfer the power to urban areas. A far cry, many would argue, from clean and cheap energy. So the Alliance for Responsible Energy points to localized solar panels like these, better known as photovoltaic panels, as the most efficient form of solar energy. But still, huge hurdles remain.
Cecilia, I know there's some people out there that are not for the big solar power plants. They think that it's destroying the habitat, tearing up land, using a lot of water. Why is this different? Why do you say this works?
Well, first of all, this kind of solar is put on the home, on the business, right where it's used, so it works best because it's distributed. It's right where you need it the most.
Cecilia Aguilan runs the solar division for Kyocera Corporation, one of the world's largest manufacturers of solar panels. This type of technology has been commercially available for decades, but very few homeowners have installed them. And Cecilia knows firsthand the challenges of turning alternative energy into affordable power.
I'm looking behind us, and we've just got these panels on top of the roof here, and then you've got the cars parked underneath, so you're using this as a parking garage for your employees. So several uses here, and it's really easy. You could put these panels on top of your house or on top of a restaurant or a school.
Exactly. You can put them anywhere, anywhere you need energy.
So why aren't we doing this? Why isn't this happening more?
Well, first is the cost. It's higher than your conventional energy, although when you look at it, you're buying power for the next 20 to 50 years. So the power is free. However, the capital cost, the installation, that's expensive. So it requires you to pay up front.
In order to fully equip a single-family home, your initial investment can cost up to tens of thousands of dollars, a feat no more affordable than purchasing 20 years of food up front. And while most states offer rebates and tax incentives, going solar for the average American family today is just not worth it. And Jim Harvey says that's just the way they want it.
They're continuing the stranglehold so that we have to continue to pay these high electricity prices instead of allowing us to do this on our own. Give us the subsidies, let us put this stuff on our roof and do the right thing, both ecologically and financially.
All right, this is an interesting series. All right, so we're trying to get to the idea, can America ultimately become energy independent? Wind power this week, solar power.
Right. Well, the problem with solar power is, and according to these environmentalists that you saw in the piece, they are saying that these big corporations, big energy, is taking over these big solar power plants that are being built in the middle of the desert. These environmentalists say if we have houses, if we have schools that are already in place, why not put solar panels on top of their roofs so that we can benefit with the existing structures?
And the answer is,
Well, the problem is lawmakers are in the back pockets of these energy companies. So they're not passing the bills that we need so that you could go out and put solar panels on your roof.
Next week, by the way, you're going to follow up
oil shale.
This Colorado, Utah, Wyoming.
Yeah.
We have more oil shale, which now they're microwaving the oil shale, liquefying it and extracting it like they would crude, and we have more oil than they do in the Middle East.
Right, exactly. It's like the crude oil here in America that they have in Saudi Arabia.
Well, that is a big story, so
Yes.
we'll have that for you next week right here on Hannity's America. Ainsley, Across America, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And coming up,